Good evening, people. Welcome to another one of my editions of off-the-shelf book reviews. I decided I haven't done one of these in a month or so now, and I just got finished reading this book by Roddy Doyle yesterday. Paddy Clarke, ha ha ha. We'll get into the author of the book first, okay? Roddy Doyle is a famous Irish novelist, dramatist, screenwriter. Several of his books have been made into movies, very popular movies that have been shown all over the world. The Commitments, The Snapper and The Van. Okay, I've never actually read a Roddy Doyle novel until I picked up Paddy Clarke, ha ha ha, a couple of months back. And I must say, I thoroughly enjoyed this novel, okay? It struck a lot of chords that I could identify with. The novel is the world through Paddy Clarke's eyes. Paddy Clarke is a 10-year-old youth growing up in suburban Dublin back in 1968. Okay, and I was able to identify with this for numerous reasons. I was a child growing up back in Ireland in the 80s. I started going to primary school in the early 80s, and I was same age as Paddy Clarke, about 1988. And there were a lot of similarities to childhood in the 80s to the childhood that Paddy Clarke had in this book. Growing up on a housing estate, playing soccer out in the pitch with his mates, playing on building sites, building camps, bases, tree houses, getting in trouble with the parents, getting in trouble with school, playing runaway knock, having fights with other boys from around the housing estate. It's a really good book, and it brought back a lot of memories for me too, very nostalgic. Just stuff that you'd forget about, the way we used to wrap our school books in wallpaper or brown paper when we used to go to school. So preserve them, so when you sold them the following year, the covers wouldn't be all doodled on and stuff because they'd have been wrapped in wallpaper. The way that you addressed the teacher when we used to go to school, you used to have to address the teacher in Irish. And this is really good. It's an intriguing story. It's the world through Paddy Clarke's eyes, you know, how he understands the world or how he misunderstands the world. His relationship with all his mates, how he used to look up to some guys who were tougher than him, how he used to pick on guys who were weaker than him, how he viewed his teacher. Just, you know, it brings back a lot of memories for someone who grew up in the 60s, the 70s or the 80s, because Ireland was still, had its old world charm back then. Very, very, very good book. I would definitely give it a thumbs up. It's a very easy style of prose to read, very full of humour, satire, and it deals with so many different situations that everybody who grew up in Ireland could probably identify with anyway. The story deals with domestic problems, his parents and stuff like that, problems in school, chases that himself and his mates used to get off neighbours and stuff like that. And it'll definitely strike a chord with people who are familiar with childhood back in Ireland in the 60s, 70s or 80s, and a really good book to read. It will keep you entertained from the first page to the last page. Alright? That's all I got to say. Roddy Doyle, Paddy Clarke, ha ha ha. If you're a fan of Roddy Doyle, you'll love it. If you can identify with Irish childhood growing up on the housing estates, you'll love it because it'll bring back a lot of memories for you. Alright guys, take it easy.